exists the distinct possibility that John McCain has three greater challengers to face in the general election than just the presumptive Democratic nominee. McCain versus himself, McCain versus videotape of himself, and McCain versus the truth. Our fourth story in the countdown, Senator McCain caught lying to the media about having criticized the media. This from a candidate about whom the traveling press corps has been positively glowing. He, the alleged maverick of the so-called Straight Talk Express campaign bus, only usually without mention of the alleged or the so-called or the campaign bus. In an interview with Newsweek, in response to a question about his election night speech outside New Orleans last Tuesday, during which he was asked about his comment that the media had overlooked some of the attributes that Hillary Clinton had brought to the race, Senator McCain cut his interviewer off mid-question to respond, "I did not. That was in prepared remarks, and I did not. I'm not in the business of commenting on the press and their coverage or not coverage." Just roll the tape.
Senator Clinton has earned great respect for her tenacity and courage. The media often overlooked how compassionately she spoke to the concerns and dreams of millions of Americans, and she deserves a lot more appreciation than she sometimes received.
Time now to turn to our own Jonathan Alter, senior editor at Newsweek magazine. John, good evening.
Hi, Keith.
I'm missing something here. That sure sounded like him saying exactly what he said he didn't say.
Strangled by the videotape. This is something that, well, here's what it is. It's a time warp thing. When he last ran for president in 2000, you could deny having said something, and the chances of you being caught, if it wasn't something really serious, which this isn't, were minimal, because nobody had access to the tapes. The tapes were in the vaults of networks.
Right.
Right? So we assume that YouTube has been here and that all of this has been retrievable forever. It's only been retrievable for like 2 years. So the idea of being able to hold these politicians accountable for what they've actually said is in a new dimension now that makes it much, much tougher for these guys to BS.
So you go down the line of he's not aware of the new political reality as opposed to he is not remembering what he just said.
Well, I do. I don't think he's senile. I think that he is caught in an old politics where politicians routinely just said, black is white and white is black and blue is gray, and they got away with it for many, many years. The only time they didn't was if it was something that was so explosive that people would literally, in past campaigns before radio, they would actually fill out affidavits, the people in the audience, to say that a candidate had said something. And that was the only way you could hold them accountable. That happened once to Franklin Roosevelt when he denied having said that he wrote the Constitution of Haiti. And there were a bunch of people who, proved that he actually had said that. So McCain just can't get away with this kind of thing anymore in the new era, in the YouTube era. And it's a learning curve for him to get up to speed to recognize that he's living with new rules.
Well, it's kind of like, we forget the Watergate hearing started with John Dean's word and then the tapes, not the other way around. That's, that's right. Exactly the point that you're making. But in this case, in denying this, he's come up with an entire rationale for why he wouldn't have said that. Is that the rationale is this attempt to try to convert some rapidly decreasing number of ex-Hillary Clinton supporters to his side? Is that it?
Well, that's why he said it in the first place, is he was making a bid for Hillary voters. But he basically claimed in his speech that it was only, I think he said, party elders and pundits who had nominated Barack Obama. He was giving, the folks at MSNBC a little more credit than I think we all deserve. In making it seem like this was why this guy got nominated. It's preposterous.
We're wildly underpaid.
He's been trying to do that to make a play for them. But when confronted on it by my Newsweek colleagues, he realized that it really didn't look too smart, and he tried to deny having said it.
There has been a lot of backlash from this campaign against the media. Your magazine was hit by it. NBC was hit by it. MSNBC was hit by it. They've complained to other people. I'm sure there'll be something back to Newsweek after this thing. Why? There has been, even in the YouTube era, there has been, the benefit of the doubt has been John McCain's. I don't buy the whole thing about the media is his constituency. That's an exaggeration. People like to deal with guys who they like dealing with, the tautology there. But there has been the benefit of the doubt. Why is he saying, screw you and your benefit of the doubt?
Well, because this, first of all, this is a game that Republicans have been playing for a long time. I mean, it first really surfaced at the 1964 Republican Convention in San Francisco when people like Walter Cronkite were booed from the galleries. It's a shoot the messenger thing. Mm-hmm. Traditionally, it was on the right. Now, increasingly, it's on the left. Not just from the Clinton campaign, but for instance, right now, the Obama campaign is very upset with Newsweek for a couple of recent covers. This is what politicians do. They try to work the refs, push back. And the thing that's silly about it is it doesn't usually work.
No, it gets us angrier. If there ever was a charge of tilting one way or the other, you tilt against the person who just swore at you.
Right, and yet they continue to think that it makes sense for them because it does get their supporters all riled up. And but in the end, there hasn't been an election that's been turned out. You know, George H.W. Bush in '92 literally had a button: vote Bush, annoy the media. It did not get him elected against Bill Clinton.
He almost finished third. Jonathan Alter of MSNBC and Newsweek, many thanks as always.
Thanks, Keith.